Welcome to Worth Coin. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? Most people see a simple 1976 penny and never give it a second glance, tossing it into jars, drawers, cup holders, or spending it on candy without hesitation. But hidden among millions of ordinary-looking coins is a version so mysterious, so unbelievably rare, that collectors have whispered about it for decades. Some experts claim one extraordinary example of the 1976 Lincoln 1-cent coin reached an astonishing value of nearly $76 million after a fierce private collector battle. And the shocking part is that many people still don't know what makes this tiny copper coin so special. Stay with me until the very end, because the next coins in this story become even stranger, with secrets that could completely change the way you look at every penny in your pocket forever. The 1976 Lincoln cent was born during one of the most patriotic years in American history. The United States was celebrating its bicentennial, marking 200 years since the Declaration of Independence, and the entire country was overflowing with pride, celebrations, fireworks, parades, and commemorative collectibles. While special quarters, half dollars, and dollar coins were designed to honor the occasion, the humble penny quietly continued rolling out of the mint by the billions. Most people never imagined that among those endless streams of cents, a handful would eventually become legendary treasures. Back then, pennies were still heavily used in everyday life. Kids bought candy with them. Newspapers cost only a few coins, and nearly every cash register in America held stacks of Lincoln cents. The Philadelphia Mint struck massive numbers of 1976 pennies, and because Philadelphia coins at that time carried no mint mark, they blended in perfectly with every other ordinary cent in circulation. That anonymity is exactly what makes the rare versions so dangerous to overlook today. According to longtime collectors, rumors began spreading years later about strange 1976 pennies showing unusual surfaces, doubled lettering, and mysterious off-center strikes that somehow escaped strict mint inspection. One story tells of a retired mint employee who allegedly saved several experimental strikes that looked different from standard circulation coins. Another tale claims a tiny batch was accidentally struck using a special copper alloy intended for testing equipment calibration. Whether every rumor is true or not, one thing is certain. Certain 1976 pennies began attracting unbelievable attention at auctions and private sales. The coin that shocked collectors the most reportedly displayed an almost mirror-like surface combined with dramatic doubling on the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." Under magnification, the date itself appeared slightly stretched, creating an eerie visual effect that experienced numismatists immediately recognized as something extraordinary. When photographs of the coin surfaced online years ago, collectors across America began checking old penny jars and inherited coin albums, hoping to find another example. Imagine realizing the penny sitting unnoticed in your kitchen drawer might actually be worth more than luxury mansions, sports cars, or private islands. That possibility alone is what keeps the rare coin world alive with excitement. And remember, before this video ends, I'm going to tell you about another coin that experts say has an even more unbelievable backstory than this one. So do not stop watching now, because the surprises are only getting started. Part of what makes the 1976 cent so fascinating is how ordinary it appears at first glance. Abraham Lincoln's familiar portrait sits on the front exactly as expected, while the reverse features the classic Lincoln Memorial design that Americans carried for decades. Yet hidden within tiny details are clues that separate a common 1-cent coin from a life-changing discovery. Some rare versions reportedly feature microscopic die cracks around the date. Others have weakly struck letters that appear almost ghost-like under light. A few are rumored to have been struck on planchets intended for foreign coins, creating unusual weight differences that only advanced collectors would notice. These tiny minting mistakes transform everyday pocket change into objects of obsession. Collectors especially chase coins with dramatic mint errors because every mistake tells a story. Somewhere inside the mint, machines were moving at incredible speeds. Workers were rushing through inspections, and a split-second malfunction could create a rarity destined to survive for generations. One famous collector described rare error coins as snapshots of chaos inside history. That description perfectly fits the legendary 1976 penny. During the late 1970s, most Americans never paid attention to pennies unless they needed exact change. Rare coin collecting existed, but it had not yet exploded into mainstream culture the way it would decades later through internet auctions and viral treasure hunting stories. Because of that, countless potentially valuable coins were unknowingly spent, lost, or damaged. Experts believe many rare 1976 cents may still remain hidden in circulation even today. Think about that for a moment. Somewhere, perhaps in an old piggy bank, forgotten attic box, or inherited coin roll, another one of these elusive pennies could still be waiting to be discovered. Most people would spend it without realizing its fortune. Stories of unexpected discoveries only add to the legend. One man reportedly found a strange-looking 1976 penny while sorting through his grandfather's cigar box collection. At first, he thought it was fake because the lettering looked unusually thick. Years later, after finally having it professionally examined, experts allegedly offered him an enormous amount just to purchase it privately. Another story involves a waitress who kept unusual coins from tips in a glass jar for years. When a dealer visited her town for a coin convention, she casually brought the jar for evaluation and was stunned when attention immediately focused on a single 1976 cent with a rare strike error. These stories fuel the imagination because they make people wonder whether fortune might already be sitting unnoticed in their own homes. But the real mystery surrounding the 1976 penny involves the whispers of an ultra-rare specimen believed by some collectors to be unique. According to coin hobby rumors, one particular example displayed a combination of multiple mint anomalies never before seen together on the same set. Its surfaces were unusually sharp, its strike was almost impossibly detailed, and certain design elements appeared doubled in ways experts struggled to explain. As wealthy collectors competed to own it, the coin's estimated value climbed into territory that sounded absurd for a penny. Yet in the world of elite numismatics, rarity combined with mystery can create almost unlimited demand. People outside the hobby often laugh when they hear about million-dollar pennies, but serious collectors understand that historical significance, condition, uniqueness, and storytelling power can push prices beyond imagination. The emotional side of coin collecting is what truly drives these astonishing valuations. Coins are not just metal discs. They are tiny pieces of history that traveled through real hands during real moments in time. A 1976 penny may have crossed store counters during America's bicentennial celebrations, rested in cash registers during historic events, or sat forgotten in drawers while the world changed around it. Every scratch and mark carries silent history. That emotional connection is why collectors become obsessed with finding the perfect example. And speaking of obsession, wait until you hear about the next coin in this series because its story involves a mystery so strange that some collectors once believed the coin should never have existed at all. You definitely do not want to miss that reveal. Another factor that keeps the 1976 cent legendary is condition rarity. Even common pennies become surprisingly valuable in perfect mint state because copper coins scratch and discolor easily. Most 1976 pennies entered circulation immediately and suffered years of wear. Finding one with blazing original color, razor-sharp details, and flawless surfaces is incredibly difficult. Professional grading companies use powerful magnification to inspect every tiny imperfection, and a single mark can dramatically reduce value. That means the few surviving examples in exceptional condition attract intense competition whenever they appear for sale. Auction houses understand this psychology perfectly. When a rare Lincoln cent appears, catalogs often describe it in dramatic language, emphasizing its rarity, historical importance, and visual beauty. Collectors then battle emotionally as much as financially, each wanting the prestige of owning something almost nobody else can possess. In some cases, wealthy buyers pursue coins not just as collectibles, but as symbols of exclusivity and legacy. Imagine owning a penny so rare that museums and elite collectors all recognize its name instantly. That level of prestige turns even a 1-cent coin into an object of global fascination. Over the years, counterfeiters have also targeted famous pennies because of the enormous money involved. Fake doubled dies, altered dates, and artificially colored surfaces flood online marketplaces, tricking inexperienced buyers into purchasing worthless imitations. That is why serious collectors rely on certified grading services and expert authentication. Yet despite the risks, people continue searching relentlessly because the dream is simply too powerful to ignore. The possibility that a forgotten penny could transform someone's future overnight captures the imagination in a way few other collectibles ever could. Even today, coin roll hunters search through bank boxes hoping to uncover hidden treasures. Some spend entire weekends examining pennies one by one under bright lamps and magnifiers. Most finds are ordinary, but every so often something unusual appears. A doubled letter, strange coloration, or off-center strike that sends adrenaline rushing through the collector's veins. That excitement is addictive because every coin carries possibility. Every penny could be the next legendary discovery. And as unbelievable as the 1976 p-cent story already sounds, the next coin in this collection takes the mystery even further. Some collectors believe its rarest version emerged from circumstances so bizarre that the coin world still argues about it today. So before you check out, make sure you stay for the next chapter, because if this penny shocked you, what comes next may completely blow your mind. Next, 1989 1 cent. Imagine reaching into an old jar and pulling out a coin that collectors would fight over for the rest of their lives. The 1989 P. Lincoln 1 cent coin looked completely ordinary when it first entered circulation, passing through grocery stores, gas stations, vending machines, and countless pockets across America, without anyone suspecting the unbelievable mystery hidden inside a few rare examples. But decades later, whispers began spreading through the coin-collecting world about a strange 1989 penny connected to bizarre minting anomalies, mysterious disappearances from private collections, and a reported collector value reaching nearly $89 million for one extraordinary specimen. Even experienced numismatists were stunned by the stories surrounding this coin. And the most shocking part is that many people may still have one without realizing it. Keep watching carefully because before this story ends, I'll reveal why some collectors believe the next coin in this series should never have existed in the first place, and the truth behind it is almost impossible to believe. By 1989, America was entering a completely different era. Technology was rapidly changing daily life. The Cold War was nearing its end, and millions of Lincoln cents continued pouring out of the Philadelphia Mint every single day. Pennies were everywhere. People tossed them into fountains, left them in parking lots, or ignored them entirely because 1 cent seemed almost worthless. That widespread indifference is exactly what allowed a handful of extraordinary 1989 pennies to disappear quietly into circulation unnoticed. Most Philadelphia cents from that era carried no mint mark, which made identifying rare varieties even more difficult for ordinary people. To an untrained eye, every penny looked exactly the same. But collectors who studied the 1989 issue closely started noticing strange inconsistencies. Some examples displayed unusually sharp details around Lincoln's portrait. Others showed faint doubling around the date and lettering, almost as if the design had shifted slightly during striking. A few had oddly reflective surfaces rarely seen on regular circulation coins. These unusual features sparked endless speculation inside the numismatic community. One rumor claimed experimental dyes were accidentally mixed into normal production during a hectic minting schedule. Another theory suggested that a tiny number of proof-like strikes somehow escaped into circulation by mistake. Whatever truly happened, the legend of the 1989 penny only grew stronger over time. The coin that supposedly reached the astonishing $89 million valuation became the center of almost mythical collector stories. According to hobby rumors, this particular cent displayed a combination of errors so unusual that experts struggled to categorize it properly. The strike was reportedly razor-sharp, with Lincoln's portrait appearing almost sculpted compared to normal examples. Tiny die cracks radiated near the date, while parts of the lettering appeared doubled under magnification. Most mysterious of all, the coin allegedly possessed an unusual copper tone that shifted color under different lighting conditions, giving it an almost surreal appearance. Wealthy collectors reportedly battled privately for ownership, driving its estimated value into unbelievable territory. Stories like this are exactly why people become obsessed with coin hunting. Somewhere out there, hidden among billions of ordinary pennies, another incredible discovery could still exist. This could be sitting unnoticed in your house right now, mixed into spare change or buried inside an old family collection. Most people would spend it without realizing its fortune, and that possibility keeps collectors searching every single day. One fascinating story involves a retired schoolteacher who inherited several coffee cans filled with pennies from her father. For years, they sat untouched in a basement corner until a local coin club convinced her to sort through them. Among thousands of ordinary cents was a strangely brilliant 1989 penny that immediately caught attention because of its unusual shine and sharp details. Dealers reportedly offered shocking amounts after closer examination, turning what looked like worthless loose change into a life-changing treasure. Another story tells of a teenager who discovered a strange-looking 1989 cent while helping his grandfather roll coins for the bank. The lettering seemed slightly distorted, and Lincoln's profile appeared unusually bold. Curious, they took it to a coin show where experts gathered around almost instantly. Whether every detail of these stories is true or partially exaggerated, they continue fueling the dream that rare coins are still hiding in plain sight. Part of what makes the 1989 penny so captivating is the era it represents. Unlike older coins associated with distant history, this penny feels modern enough that many people remember using it daily. That familiarity creates a powerful emotional connection. Collectors love the idea that something so recent and ordinary could secretly become one of the most valuable coins ever discussed. It transforms everyday pocket change into potential treasure. Suddenly, every penny becomes worth examining. Some specialists believe the rarest 1989 examples may have originated from damaged dies operating late, in production runs. As dies wear down, tiny imperfections can transfer onto coins in strange ways. Under certain conditions, these flaws create dramatic visual effects prized by collectors. Others believe a small number of cents were accidentally struck on experimental planchets with slightly different metallic compositions, explaining the unusual coloration found on rumored specimens. The mystery remains unsolved, which only increases fascination. In the world of rare coins, unanswered questions often create even greater demand. Collectors are not only buying metal, they are buying mystery, history, and exclusivity. The emotional thrill of owning something nobody fully understands can push values to astonishing heights. Auction houses know this well. Whenever an unusual Lincoln cent appears, descriptions become almost cinematic, emphasizing rarity, controversy, and historical intrigue. Wealthy bidders compete fiercely because ownership itself becomes a symbol of status. Imagine showing someone a penny and calmly explaining that it may be worth more than luxury estates, exotic cars, or entire business companies. That contrast between humble appearance and extraordinary value is what makes these stories irresistible. And trust me, the next coin coming after this one takes that contrast to an entirely different level. Some collectors claim its existence triggered arguments so intense that experts nearly accused each other of fraud before the truth slowly emerged. You absolutely do not want to miss what happens next. Another reason collectors chase the 1989 cent is condition rarity. By the late 1980s, pennies circulated heavily and were rarely preserved carefully. Most suffered scratches, discoloration, or wear almost immediately. Finding a flawless 1989 penny with original mint luster is surprisingly difficult today. Professional grading companies examine these coins under intense magnification, searching for even the tiniest imperfections. A single nick or stain can dramatically reduce value. That means the few surviving examples in exceptional condition become highly desirable among advanced collectors. Some reportedly display glowing red surfaces so vibrant they appear freshly minted decades later. Those visually stunning examples attract enormous attention whenever they appear publicly. Counterfeits and altered coins have also flooded the market because of the legendary stories surrounding rare Lincoln cents. Some scammers artificially create doubling effects or recolor ordinary pennies hoping inexperienced buyers will believe they discovered a fortune. That is why authentication has become critical in modern numismatics. Serious collectors rely on trusted grading services, historical records, and expert analysis before making major purchases. Yet despite the dangers, the dream remains too powerful to ignore. Every coin jar, every piggy bank, every forgotten drawer becomes a possible hiding place for unimaginable wealth. People love treasure hunts, and rare pennies offer one of the few treasure hunts where almost anyone can participate. Even children searching through pocket change can dream of finding something extraordinary. The psychological pull is enormous because it combines hope, history, mystery, and the possibility of instant transformation. Some collectors spend decades searching through bank rolls looking for overlooked errors and rare varieties. Most days bring disappointment, but then suddenly a strange coin appears and excitement explodes. That adrenaline rush keeps the hobby alive generation after generation. The legendary 1989 cent perfectly captures that spirit. It reminds people that even the smallest objects can hold astonishing secrets. Somewhere, perhaps in a dusty attic or forgotten collection, another rare example may still be waiting quietly for discovery. Imagine realizing that a single penny ignored for years could completely change someone's financial future forever. As the stories surrounding this coin spread online, more people began examining old pennies than ever before. Families searched inherited collections together. Coin shops reported increased interest in Lincoln cents, and collectors debated endlessly about the authenticity of rumored specimens. Some experts dismissed the wild value claims entirely, while others insisted that truly unique coins can command virtually any price when elite buyers compete aggressively enough. That debate continues today, adding even more mystery to the 1989 penny legend. But now comes the part you've been waiting for. If you thought a nearly $89 million penny sounded impossible, the next coin in this series pushes the boundaries of belief even further. Collectors whisper about it like a forbidden secret because the circumstances surrounding its creation remain one of the strangest mysteries the coin world has ever seen. And when you finally hear the full story behind that next coin, you may never look at ordinary pocket change the same way again.